Today we will begin by looking at folder structure, organizing your work. We'll start with looking at the contents of this folder, Tutorial 1, that I have created on my hard drive. Inside Tutorial 1, I have created 4 folders. The first folder, called Docs. This folder may contain documents, instructions that we received from teachers or from customers. At the bottom here we have a folder called In Data. This is where we will store all the raw data that we receive from others or that we collect in the field, for example. It's the sort of data that we do not want to be destroyed. It should be kept in its original form. Once we've done something with that data, created a new file from it, we can store that under Edit. This is where we will work most. Edit is home for all the files that you create, even the things that you end up throwing away. And then we have the Final folder. Here we store those files which we wish to deliver, the end product of our work. So that's a few basics about the organization of our folders. We should also mention the file names and folder names. When working with products such as ArcMap, we need to be very careful with our file names. We have to stick to the letters that are from the English alphabet, A to Z. We can use numbers, but don't start folder names or file names with numbers to be on the safe side. And certainly don't use any Swedish characters or spaces in your file or folder names. Also, try to keep the names shorter than 13 signs long. This can also cause problems in some toolboxes in ArcMap. So for the rest of today's lecture, we will look at creating a data file, entering data via a standard text editor, taking that text file into Excel, and then we will save it as an Excel file. And then in the next lecture, we will do some more work in Excel, become familiar with Excel and the tools that are available to us there, and then import from Excel into ArcGIS. So let's move on and look at what tools we have available via remote desktop. So these are all the tools we have. We can go in under Umatic, and here we have ArcMap, ArcGlobe, ArcCatalog. We also have Quantum and Geomatica. But for now, let's focus on Kontorsprogram. Here we have Excel, which we will come to later. We have Word. Word is a program that's very good for formulating text, but it does it in a way that we don't really want. We need clean text. We want our text to be in ASCII or UTF format. We don't want the coding that is associated with a Word document. So we could use perhaps WordPad, but better than this is Notepad++. So let's open Notepad++ and have a look at it. This is the program. It's very simple, very basic, although many think it quite powerful. But it is just a text editor. As you can see, you can write text to it, and that's all it is. This is not particularly useful for us right now, so let's delete that. I said that we would enter data via a text editor. What we will start by doing is creating a comma-separated values file, CSV file. This is a plain text file in UTF-8 format or ASCII format, where the data is separated by some marker. The name CSV would suggest that comma is a good separator. So let's use comma. What we will enter are a series of points. Each point will consist of a name, an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. So let's start by giving our file some headers. point, comma, x, comma, y. Those are our three headers, three columns, as it were. Let's create our first point, A1, x-coordinate 1000, y-coordinate 1000. Point B1, x-coordinate 1100, y-coordinate 1000. Point P1, x-coordinate 1200, y-coordinate 1000. That's 3 points, 3 rows of data, and a header row. So let's save this file now. Save. And it will be saved to our in-data folder. This is raw data. And as you can see, Notepad++ wants to save this as a normal text file, txt, with UTF-8 as the encoding. So we'll give our file a name, benchmark.csv. We will override this file ending and give it our own one, this CSV, comma, separated values. It's still a text file in its essence, but we are just declaring it as being a comma separated values file. Save. Okay, so let's have a look at that file now. That we had in data, benchmark.csv. Windows has already associated it with Excel. If we right click on that, you can see we can open it with Notepad++ or Excel or Minitab. We can choose other programs. We could open it with Word, we could open it with WordPad. But for now, let's just open it with a standard program, Excel. We have 4 rows of data here. Unfortunately, we don't have 3 columns. Everything has been imported into column A because Excel didn't recognize the comma as a default value for separating columns of data. So how do we fix that? Let's just erase those rows. So now we wish to import data into this empty worksheet. We go to Data, Get External Data, from Text. We look for our text file, our CSV file. There it is. Import. And now we have the import wizard. This is the data in the file. We want to start importing at row 1 and import headers. My data has headers. These are our headers. Now we click on Next. As we can see, the standard was tab delimited. We don't want tab, we want comma. So here is our CSV file, comma separated values, 3 columns of data. Next. This step we can actually skip over and go directly to finish. It now wants to import the data, and it's suggesting that we import it to this worksheet and to this place. That is simply where it will start the import from. As you can see, everything has now been associated to separate columns. So now let's save this file. Go to File, Save As, and now we need to save it somewhere. We can save it under Edit, but we don't want to save it as a CSV file. We want to save it as an Excel file. The first choice would be XLSX. This should be a good choice. Unfortunately, there are some problems with importing XLSX files into Arc later. The safest move for us now will be to save as an Excel 97 to 2003 workbook, XLS. So let's choose that format, benchmark XLS, and save. Now we're done for today.